Do you know what? I wasn't actually intending on filming this video today. I was going to have for you the books I'm most excited to read this year, so 2022, but I have just finished this book and I wanted to jump on it and share with you what I thought about it. Basically, I couldn't wait. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to another book review. I wasn't intending on filming this video today, so I've kind of planned out my next few weeks of content, and this week I was intending on sharing with you the books that I'm most excited for this year. I think I've got about 10 in my list and I was like, yep, that's what I'm going to do this week. And then, let me just get it, and then I finished this book and it has made such an impression on me that I just had to talk about it today. Sorry, I've got one hand, I've got my coffee, one hand I've got the book, so I'm a bit, ooh. There is one word to describe this book and it's going to give away entirely what I think about this book, but wow. And actually, I don't think I've ever agreed with a quote on a cover of a book as much as I have this one. So in the bottom there, I don't know if you can see it, if it's going to focus, it basically says, from Lisa Jewell, feels like a blockbuster movie. And that is exactly what this feels like. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you'll know I'm not a huge fan of films. Going to the cinema happens sort of once in a blue moon, but if this was turned into a film, or if Netflix decided to make a series of it, I would binge it. So this is the first Clare Mackintosh book I have read. When I've been shopping in charity shops, I have seen quite a few of her books on the shelves, and now that I've read this, I'm gutted that I didn't pick those up. So I know when I go at the weekend, have a wander around the charity shops again, and I'm specifically looking for Clare Mackintosh books, what's the betting that they're not there anymore? But I will definitely be keeping an eye out for those because I can't wait to read more of her books. I can't really explain too much about the story because I don't want to give away any spoilers, and also I feel as though I went into this knowing very little about it. I hadn't seen any reviews on it. All I had done is read the blurb on the inside cover, and I think that's the best way to do it. What I can say is that this is mainly based around Mina, who is a flight attendant on the first ever London to Sydney direct flight, and majority of the book takes place in the 20 hours of that flight. As I said, I don't want to give too much away, I don't want to talk too much about the story. What I will say is that the ending was absolutely amazing, and then, just to top it off, on the last page we get another twist which you definitely would not have seen coming. I think the ending of a thriller can often be a disappointment, so I will find that I'm really enjoying the book itself, and obviously the story's building up, and then I think, oh, the ending, that was quite a disappointment, and then you almost feel as though you've wasted your time leading up to that point. It is definitely not the case with this book. The ending is brilliant, and then, like I said, that sort of extra twist on the last page or two is mind-blowing. Obviously we are on an aeroplane 35,000 feet up, I think. I used to know that, it's been a while since I've been on a plane. Anyway, yeah, it's very much a locked scene, locked room thriller, and it works brilliantly. I'm not sure that I would read this on a flight, or if I was going on a flight anytime soon. The images that the author portrays throughout the book are vivid, so I mean, up to you if you can kind of handle that. For me, no, definitely not. Definitely not for me. So there are two main sort of storylines happening side by side. So like I said, we've got Mina, who is the main character. She is a flight attendant on that flight that is hijacked. And then we also have Mina's husband, Adam, who is at home, who you're probably thinking, wow, he's got the easier end of the deal. Not necessarily. Again, I'm not going to give away any spoilers, but you have two very is suspenseful a word? But you have two very sort of on the edge of your seat, gripping storylines going on simultaneously, and they are linked. You also get the odd chapter of passengers that are on the flight. You learn more about them, you learn why they're on the flight, you learn a bit of their backstory, and it all helps to sort of tie this together. In fact, this is a book, knowing what I know now about the ending, I'd actually like to go back and reread it, and that is rare for me to say that. But I think there's probably quite a lot of things that I missed the first time round that I would pick up on, obviously, now knowing what happens. But yeah, definitely do think it is worth a reread. I probably won't, let's be honest. There's about 50 books behind me that still need my attention. Am I even in focus? Okay, now I'm in focus. You've probably guessed by now from how much I've been gushing about this book, but this is one of the best thrillers that I have ever read. Now, obviously, I am not someone who has read hundreds of this genre. It's definitely sort of a new genre for me, but I'm reading more and more of them. And if you saw my video last week, which was sort of my book awards for 2021, you will have heard me say that actually last year around a third of my reading was thrillers. And I wouldn't be surprised if that increases this year, just because I'm enjoying them so much. There is nothing like a thriller for a sort of real page turner, for a book that really keeps you engaged. There's nothing that can compete with it. I read it relatively quickly. Again, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you'll know I'm not someone who binges books. I read this in less than a week, I think, which for me is pretty fast, especially being back at work. But I didn't want to put it down. Any opportunity to read it, I had it in my hands. It was that good. It is full of suspense, it is gripping, it's addictive, it's dark, it's thought-provoking, and if you haven't guessed, I am going to be scoring my first book of 2022, Hostage by Clare Mackintosh, 5 stars. Now, this happened last year. I remember the first book I read of 2021 was The Midnight Library by Matt Haig, and I gave it 5 stars. I don't think it was soon after that, maybe 1 or 2 books later, that I had my one and only DNF of the year. So let's see if this happens this year. Fingers crossed it won't. I would say that if you enjoy fast-paced thrillers with sort of strong, well-developed characters, this is definitely worth picking up. I'm surprised actually, and this might just be sort of what I'm exposed to, but I'm surprised that I haven't seen more people talk about this book. I'd be really interested to know, if you've read this book, did you see that ending coming? I mean, I should say endings because there were a couple, aren't there? Did you see any of that coming? I quite often think maybe I just miss a lot of things as I'm reading, but I don't think so with this. This was completely like, whoa, where did that come from? So, brilliant start to the year. Good 5-star solid read. Thank you so much for watching. Now, I hope to be back next week. It might be the week after, depending on how things go. But I hope my next video to be sort of like I said at the beginning, books I'm excited for this year. I think there are 10 I have on my list at the moment. I didn't want to do an enormous list. I'm trying to be a bit more picky this year. We're definitely going for we're definitely going for, I was going to say quantity, we're definitely going for quality over quantity. So yeah, look out for that. And if you're not already subscribed but you enjoy book hauls, I'm sure there'll be more of those coming soon, although I'm trying to be conscious of reading what I've got first before I buy more. But I'm sure there'll be more coming. So book hauls, book reviews from thrillers, historical fiction, chick lit, popular fiction. If you enjoy all of that and you haven't already, please press subscribe and come and join us. It's completely free. Right, I'm going to finish my coffee now before it gets cold. Although it's warming me up, it's quite nice. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good week, and I hope to see you again very soon. Take care. Bye.